and girls, welcome back to my channel. It is Yasmin here. So if you saw another video I did one about a first impression ever using a safety razor to shave my legs. It was a first impression, first time using it, and yeah, I don't know how you felt about it, but for me it's like a first impression. It's meant to be like raw and real and exactly how it is at the first experience. Now since then I've been using it now for about 6 weeks or so, I think, like 4 to 6 weeks. So obviously I've like got the whole thing down pat. So since we last spoke and I showed it to you, I have invested in a couple of new little things. I got a little bowl here which I can put some soap in there. I also got a brush. This is the Muhle bowl, and this is not a Muhle bowl. This is a, I don't know, a penna Ramonzo Panas. It is not a vegan bristle either. It is a natural bristle. I got it because it kind of matches in looks wise, but I didn't have enough money to get the Muhle one that matches the R89 in chrome, which I did get because I got the R89 in rose gold, and they have like, there's a brush that matches that, but I didn't have enough money for that brush. This one was about $30, I believe. I got it from Beard and Blade, $25, $30, whereas the matching brush for this was over $100, maybe $150. I don't quote me on that, but something around the line. With getting the Muhle little stand as well, which fits like right in here, it sits nice and flat. Excuse my finger as well. I actually broke a glass and I like cut my finger a little bit, so I didn't want to get blood everywhere. So that sits nice and flush in there, and I already had the little cap which sits over the actual razor like so. So I'm going to give you now like a second impression of what it has been like using the razor for this long period of time. I'm just going to point out that, okay, I got a couple of little bits of flack in there about when I did my last video about shaving their legs, and if being a hairy female for you is what you dig, then go for it. I'm not saying that all women have to shave their legs or have to be completely hairless. It is personally what I like. I like no hair on myself. I like clean shaven anything. The only place I want to see hair on me is my eyebrows and the top of my head, right? Like, unless it's a landing strip on my pubic hair, personally, it's just my personal preference. I also have polycystic ovarian syndrome, meaning that I have to shave my legs like every single day, sometimes twice a day, because it's a hormonal thing for me. If you're not into that, if you like hairy armpits, if you like your legs, whatever, that's you. You do you, I do me. So when I'm coming to like how long the blades last, because I'm covering like a large surface area, like both my legs, my Brazilian, my underarms, it's quite a large surface area. Like for a man who's doing pretty much like just their face or whatever, that's like a much smaller area than, I guess, your legs. So what I found is with the blades, now with the blades, I didn't get the Muhle, like it came with one Muhle blade, but I got an Astra blade set just from a price point. Like I got a whole bunch of them and they last for ages. I find that after 1 week that it's kind of blunt and I'm not getting the nice smooth shave that I do want, and I need to change that every week. What I'm doing I'm just gonna open this up, like I use a towel to open this up. The Muhle, by the way, and the reason that I chose the Muhle is not only because it came in rose gold, and I just love rose gold, because it's handmade in Germany, and yeah. So I just open it up like so every time I use it. They say to rinse it out, I like to rinse the whole thing after each use, but what I do is I actually unscrew the whole lot, and I actually just rinse the whole lot and dry it off just to make sure there's definitely no bacteria and definitely no soap or hair or residue. As you can see, I've missed a little bit there. I dry it all off and then I assemble it all back together again. I just know then that I'm being super hygienic in what I'm doing, and there's definitely not going to get any bacteria. I don't know about any of you, but using the disposable razors, there have been a couple of instances where there has been bacteria like in it, especially when you go traveling and then you put the razor inside your toiletry bag, which has got cosmetics and all these other bunch of stuff. Like if it drops on the floor, you can get all kind of, then if you cut yourself with it, you can then get like an infection in that cut. So I'm kind of really digging that I can pull this completely apart and give it a good clean. I can also like spritz it with rubbing alcohol if I wanted, or tea tree oil if I really wanted to. But I feel that if you're just cleaning it, then it's not going to harbor the bacteria in it anyway. And then I put it in the cap. So I went traveling, and what I did is I took the brush, but I didn't take the stand or the bowl because I figured like there'll be like a cup in the hotel room, and I just wrap it up in a hand towel so it doesn't get all damaged or anything, and then took that inside my toiletry bag with me with the brush when I went traveling, because I didn't really need to take the stand or the bowl. Now when it came to the actual shaving, like I've done a couple of ways. I have done it where I've just rubbed the soap on my legs and then shaved. I've done it that way. I've done it where I've had a shower and then done the same principle, but put the soap inside the bowl and then lathered it onto my legs or wherever I want to shave, and then shave. And then I've also done it where without any shaving thing whatsoever as well. And I understand, like for a girl, like my hair, yeah, like I have to shave like once or twice a day, my legs, but my hair isn't as like coarse and thick as a man's facial hair. So the advice I'm giving is like pretty much like for girls and what I did. So I know as girls, we kind of like have stood there with like the shower, the water running, and we shave our legs while the water's running. I'm personally like just trying to deter away from that because I'm trying to conserve as much water. We're currently on level 2 water restrictions in New South Wales, or in Sydney, and I know that there are other places which are on level 3. So I'm trying to just stop like standing there in the shower and letting the water run while I'm shaving my legs, because it's kind of wasteful with the water. But what I've been doing is when I've been washing my hair as well, so I've been washing and then I'll turn I'll rinse it, wash it. But then when you leave your conditioner in, and you leave your conditioner in for like 5 minutes or so, is I'll use that time to then shave my legs. So I'll turn the water off and have the conditioner in my hair, and I'm still like pretty wet, right? So then I'll go along and I'll shave my legs and my Brazilian, my underarms, and then by that time I know to turn the water on and I can wash my hair again. Keeping in mind that it is summer, so it's not that cold. So when I'm having the shower and I'm doing that, I'm not really freezing, right? If I was not putting a conditioner in my hair, yeah, I'd probably still turn the water off and then shave my legs. And then if I felt like I needed just to rinse it, just like quickly rinse the rest off. When I'm shaving, it is a little different to when I have been shaving with obviously the disposable razors. Like this is a lot heavier than the disposable plastics that I've been used to. The handle is a little smaller, and if I was to get another razor, I would probably opt for one with there is a model with a longer handle, and I was undecided whether or not to get the one with the longer handle or this one. Chose this one purely because it's rose gold. But the next one that I get, that it will be longer, and the only reason it would be a lot easier if I'm doing like in tricky parts like the back of my Brazilian and that. Just a personal preference for me. I've also seen another one that you can get that is like, it kind of like it has the same kind of, I don't know, it's a different way, like it kind of faces down, if that makes sense. It's not a Muhle, it's another brand, and I have seen that at a different store, not through Beard and Blade. It's through an eco store and Byron Bay, and I'm probably going to buy that one next, just because I feel that I probably would get a lot more control in those difficult areas like between your butt cheeks, right, when you're doing your Brazilian. When I'm shaving, right, so I'm going to just shave. This is dry and this is my arm, but I'm just going to give you like an example of what I'm doing. I found that what works best is like shorter strokes, such as like just shorter kind of strokes, and not pressing so hard. Like in between these little grooves, there is like definitely, I don't know, like, I don't know how I can explain. Like I've never cut myself. The only time I've cut myself is that one time I told you I've got that little bump on there. I've never had any war wounds from this. The only time I've had a war wound was this one here, where I was not very careful when I was taking the new razor blade out of the packaging, and I sliced my thumb there. But as far as my shaving has gone, I haven't cut myself shaving, if that makes sense. Only that one time. But I just feel that like doing shorter strokes Sometimes I shave my arms too, by the way, guys. So you can see there the hair, like if I was to do like long ones, I don't know, I just feel as though I get more hair off and I have more control just doing like shorter strokes. But to take the razor out, I obviously do it in a towel, and then when these razor is blunt, these can go into the recycling bin, and I have this empty aluminium can, and I put the blunt ones in here because eventually this will be full of these razor blades, and I can put that all into the recycling bin rather than having like a whole bunch of these blunt things like floating around. And then I feel a bit bad like if some person at a recycling plant cuts themselves or whatever, but I just like putting it all into this steel. I don't even think this is steel. I actually feel like this is aluminium, to be honest, because it's really super thick, but that says please recycle. So I'm just like filling this up with like these blades. You can like an empty Coke can or whatever, like an aluminium tin can that you've had, I don't know, baked beans or whatever in. But ultimately, like, I guess for guys, you kind of like do your own thing, and maybe if you're a shaving cream kind of a person, is that using this brush and putting it in there and then like slathering it on, you kind of like, I knew that I wasn't missing parts. Like if I was just doing it wet and then going along, like I could have missed bits. And of course, if I'm not in the shower, like if I'm sitting down, I can kind of see better, especially this bit like behind your legs, which I often miss so many bits because you can't like see properly behind your legs, right? Unless you're looking. That will be the only bit. But the quickest, fastest way was in the shower, of course, but I have been doing it without the water running, which I have had like the same effect anyway, like nothing bad has happened. You could even have this like ready in the side to just do that while the tap is off in the shower, and then just like once you're all kind of done is to just like then rinse off. So that's some like tips that I have to say as my second impression for using a safety razor for the first time. Again, we'll probably go a longer handle next time, and maybe one that has like, I don't know, I'll have to try and find it and put a photo in, but it's kind of like you put the razor in one bit, and it's not a double-edged, it's like a single-edged razor for just those tricky bits like the Brazilian, which I probably have like more leverage in just those like kind of creasy kind of areas. So if you like this video, please remember to give me the thumbs up as well as the subscribe and the bell notifications. Ciao!